Hey, I'm back. Week 9, more than half the way through the year now. Let's go. Best way to do it is to just do it. The Thursday night game was Eagles and Texans, and like I said last week, I ate watching that game because it went exactly how everyone thought it was going to go. You know, the Eagles continue to be undefeated and look like one of the best teams in football. The Texans don't look bad as a team as a whole. You know, they put up a decent fight against the Eagles, but the Eagles are just the way better team, so obviously they won. Next was the Patriots and Colts. And yeah, the Patriots defense is still one of the best in the league, and in my honest opinion, and the Colts continue to be one of the worst teams, and they would be the worst team if a team in Carolina didn't exist. And yeah, the Patriots completely dominated the Colts, and it was an easy 26-3 win. Obviously, Sam Ehlinger is not the guy there. This season for the Colts is looking like it's going to be an absolute wash. Next was the Falcons and Chargers, and wow, this was a strange game. The Falcons look better and better with each week. The Falcons don't look like a bad team, honestly, and the Chargers still being one of the most injured teams in the league was a contributing factor to how close this game was. But that ending sequence where Eckler fumbled the ball, then the Falcons picked it up, and then he ran it back, and he just basically threw it away, and then the Chargers picked it back up just to go back in the field goal range and win it. It was a strange ending, but whatever. Chargers do win the game. I think if Allen gets healthy, and once their better receivers get healthy, I think this team is a danger to make a deep run. But that's if they get healthy at this point. Next was the upset of the week, I would say, in the Jets and Bills. The Jets defense is playing really, really well, and all Zach Wilson needs to do is protect the ball for them to basically win. They can beat any team, I think, obviously, because the Bills are the best team in football, and I think the Jets can beat any team, but that defense needs to be playing at a high level, and Zach Wilson needs to continue to be good enough to not turn over the ball and just put up some offensive points. On the other hand, the Bills, I think, definitely overlooked Jets, and it just wasn't their game today, and now Josh Allen might be out for a couple weeks with an injury. So yeah, the Bills season is slowing down a little bit. This was not a good week if you're a Bills fan, but hey, there's always next week, move on. Next was the Commanders and Vikings, and with a comeback from the Vikings still look like one of the best teams in the league, in my opinion. This Kirk Cousins thing where he has the chains, it's just weird. It's just weird. The chains and the no shirt, God, it's weird. The Commanders, though, they're not good, but they're in every game this year, and it's actually kind of interesting. They've been a decently fun team the next game was the Bengals and the Panthers, and yeah, it was only a 21-point game, but the Bengals kicked the Panthers around like they were a fucking peewee team. The Bengals dominated. Joe Mixon was a monster. If they played like that every week, there's nobody stopping this Bengals team. Panthers, on the other hand, looking forward to April in the draft, but goddamn, they got destroyed. They benched PJ Walker in the second half just to bring in Baker Mayfield, and yeah, this team is an absolute train wreck. Next was the Jaguars and Raiders, two of the worst teams in the league, and yeah, and the Jags do win, and there's not much else to say about the game. The Raiders look way better from last week, but that doesn't mean they looked good. They still lost, and the Jaguars still don't look great. It was the Bears and Dolphins. The Dolphins, is it sustainable for the Dolphins to keep putting up, 35 points a game? Like, they are seriously just the teams they're playing are also putting up 30. The Dolphins are putting up 35 points a game, and it looks like there's no problem. Like, you sit down to watch the game, and they have none. You look back 10 minutes later, and they got 30. But the Dolphins are a good team. Tua is back in his rhythm. Hill is playing way better, I think, than he did in Kansas City, and Waddle is also one of the best receivers in the league. I will not be surprised if they both make an all-pro team at the end of the year. Seattle and Arizona and Cardinals haven't been the best teams since MW2 came out, and the whole thing of them being the most hot and cold team in the NFL, I stand by it still to this very second. Seattle, though, looking honestly like one of the best teams in football, and it's not even close. They are the surprise team of the year. Geno Smith deserves some award. I thought one of these games is a fluke. A couple times Steelers, fluke won themselves 11 games. They are fluking their way through any of these games. They're winning these games handily by multiple possessions, and that's why I know this team might be legit come playoff time if Geno Smith keeps playing at the level that he is. Next was the Bucs and the Rams, the bowl of underperforming former Super Bowl contending teams. Bowl. The Rams are defending champs, and the Buccaneers, but the Buccaneers having good for the past couple years, and they've been a contender and all this, and losing a bunch of pieces in the offseason didn't help this team, but the fact that Brady and this offense are struggling this bad, they end up winning this game, but that 16 points from the Tom Brady led offense isn't normal, especially with the way he's been playing in Tampa since he got there, and the Rams dropping 13 points is even more of a concern, considering that you have Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson at receiver, and you still can't beat a team that only dropped 16. And there's a lot. I don't know even if the Rams are going to make the playoffs, let alone go back to back. Next in the primetime game was the Chiefs and Titans. The Tyreek Hill trade ended up, I think, is going to work out for both teams really well. With Hill being a all-pro level wide receiver who is consistently putting up 100-yard games after 100-yard games and even some 200-yard games, him consistently putting up that amount of production in Miami, they're happy with what they got. And the Chiefs look even better, honestly, without him. Because like I said before, I think he was a little bit of a crutch on that team. And, to see that Kelsey's having a great season and, MVS is good. I hate to say it, but Juju's not doing bad either. And the Chiefs still look like an absolute threat. The only player in the offense that looks terrible is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's literally it. And the Chiefs will be threatening to go back to the Super Bowl again. I have no doubt in my mind in that. And on the other hand, you have the Titans, and I think if you're a Titans fan, you shouldn't be upset that you lost this game. You'll probably win your division if you fell asleep for half of the season. You could fall asleep right now and not wake up until week 12, and you'll still win your division. The Titans are a really good team this year. This is without Tannehill, and Malik Willis didn't play bad. He almost put him in. He got it in overtime, and they did well. The Titans did well enough as a team, and I get it's all off the back of Derrick Henry first, and I think this team is genuinely going to surprise a lot of people come towards the end of the season. Last game of the week was Ravens and Saints, and I didn't get a chance to watch this, but I would assume that the Saints, same old New Orleans that they have been this year. Their offense just isn't. Their team just doesn't have enough talent. They have good talent, but not enough to compete with these higher level teams. And the Ravens and Lamar Jackson continue to be the Lamar Jackson show. But I guess that's actually honestly it. This wasn't a super week. This wasn't a super interesting week of football. Here are the power rankings. That's about it. I've been Dom. Like and subscribe. Still fucking weird to say. I'll see you next week. Bye.